That's a sacred song. I sing it here because it's still Arapaho land.
Native Americans utilized the cache of the Poudre River for thousands of years. The Arapaho tribe specifically used the region, including the Poudre River, for clan gatherings, ceremonies, and food gathering. This was more than 100 years before European explorers and settlers made their way to the valley.
This place was very sacred to us. You know, that's where we all gathered and had our council, different bands, even different tribes, mainly Sioux and Cheyennes.
Poudre River Valley in the mid-1800s was a fertile area supporting large swaths of grass that attracted bison and people who hunted them. Clean water, firewood, and native plants added to the lushness of the valley. This valley that supported large gatherings of Native Americans, the Arapaho tribe consisted of approximately 13 bands in the mid-1800s. The bands hunted and gathered food between the Arkansas River and the Black Hills of South Dakota, east of the Rocky Mountains. This broad region is, today, considered by the Arapaho as our ancestral home.
See, the women were warriors too, hunters. But they were all organized, different rank and file among the young men and women. And they were identified and they were placed as such. They would have skirmishes and imitation battles, woman against woman, to learn how to combat. That was their foremost protection.
In the 1800s, we periodically gathered in the cache of the Poudre River Valley. One of our meeting places was referred to by early European settlers as the Council Tree, where a large cottonwood tree stood along the banks of the Poudre River northwest of present-day Timnath. Cheyennes, Utes, Apaches, and other tribes periodically used the resources of the Poudre River Valley and at times counseled, traded, and fought with the Arapahos. In the 1830s, an Arapaho boy was lost while his band was hunting in present-day southwestern Kansas.
He was lost over there in by Lamar in that Arkansas River. So he was, I guess he went hunting. And meantime, the camp, the Arapahos moved, you know, and they went back looking for him and they couldn't find him, you know. So he was living in a beaver hut, kind of like in the canyon. He was living in there, and but he told us, and he told my dad and my grandpa that a wolf used to bring him rabbits to keep him alive, you know, and that's how we stayed alive. I don't know how long he was lost, but that Fitzpatrick, that trapper, he's the one that found him. He found him on Friday, that's how we got our name, you know. When they found him, they took him to St. Louis, got him educated in a Catholic Peru school. And I think about when he was about 18, or they brought him back to look for his people, and they finally found him.
By being bilingual, he was able to serve as a translator between the Arapaho and the Europeans who were moving steadily into our former hunting grounds. Friday declined to become a war chief when the position was offered to him. Instead, he became a peace chief for the Arapaho. During the uprising that occurred surrounding the Sand Creek Massacre in 1864, Colorado Governor Evans requested all peaceful Native Americans associate themselves with a fort. Friday chose to associate with Fort Collins. He and his band remained in the general vicinity of the Poudre River Valley until the late 1860s, when his band was forced to leave by local settlers.
But during the course of that time, they had horse races. They had spear throwing, tomahawk making, see who had made the best tomahawk, and the weaponry. With all that effort, the white man came with his new modern weapons and killed over half of us. And after that, they said, oh, let it go. He said, there's not too many of them anyway. We'll get them later. Maybe not now, but later in the future. So we're waiting for that future.
We love this land, but we were pushed aside for the settlers, the miners.
Eventually, Friday and his band settled on the Wind River Indian Reservation in 1878. Today, many of Friday's descendants live near and on the Wind River Reservation. For example, Hubert Friday serves as an elder of the Northern Arapaho Tribe.
Some of these young ones, how come we left Colorado, you know? But we were forced out, you know. We were exited. The military or militia is the one that run us out.
Today, the Northern Arapaho Tribe has more than 12,000 people in the area of the Wind River Reservation. Our tribe, along with Friday's descendants, work to retain our native culture, traditions, which includes visiting Fort Collins, in order to recall and maintain connections with the valley's role in our history.
To me, this is home. It's real, I really like it here.
Today, we're losing a lot from that time. So today, we're wondering how we're going to hold on to that history that's remaining with us.
Places like this should be remembered, not only for the tribe, but for our younger people, younger generation. We're trying to teach them that we have two worlds to. We have to learn the outside and our way of life, our culture. We need to hold on to that.